think. All right.
What do we? Do we have a name yet? I don't know if we have a name.
I mean, we said Doughboys, but
Yeah, I don't know. We might have switched that. But that doesn't matter. Sports Yap.
yup.
It's the moment y'all have been waiting for. Mace, Chase, here to, just yap about sports, betting, all types of shit. We're going to be just breaking down, giving our point of view on just different stuff going on in the sports world. So, it's out right now. CD Lamb.
CD, bro, he got a bag.
He definitely got a bag. It's definitely well deserved. I saw a thing where it was like CD Lamb, his yards was like 17. He had like 1,700 yards.
Mm-hmm.
The next closest person was Jake Ferguson with 700. So it's like there was no way that they were actually going to go into the season if they were being serious without giving CD Lamb a contract. I mean, I get that they're kind of in a weird spot where it's like they didn't really get better over the offseason, but there's just no way you're going to walk into the season with like Brandon Cooks as your one. I mean, like, and then who's behind him? It's like Brandon Cooks, Ferguson, and then it's just like, that's like
it's not like you can dump it to the running back.
Yeah, and then you're running the old Zeke, you're running a Rico Dowell. Like, I mean, this offense last year was only good because CeeDee Lamb basically gets 15 catches a game. Mm-hmm. So you have to get that contract done. It doesn't matter. He could have walked in there and said, "I want $1 billion," and you like basically had to give it to him. But I don't know. It's
crazy that I had to think about it.
Yeah,
it's like, what were you thinking about?
They did the same thing with Zeke, where.
But Zeke is a different player too, though. It's like
Zeke is a different player, and he's a running back, so I get why it was harder to make that contract. But they did the same thing with Ezekiel Elliott when he was a top back and wanted to get paid, and it went like right before the season, and then they gave him a contract, if I remember. But I don't know why Jerry Jones does that. Like, why are you waiting until the last second? Now he was definitely training and putting in work. Like, it's not like he was just, messing around or whatever. But it's like now you just kind of wasted a whole training camp where he wasn't there just because he wanted to wait until the day before the day before the first game. It just baffles me with their mindset over there.
I mean, they do that with everything too, though. Yeah. It's like even with off season, they wait until the very last second to try and sign anybody, and it's like, what are you guys doing? It's
like, why are we waiting so long to get our top players back, or to even like acquire players? There were so many good running backs, so many good players in positions that they needed, and they didn't go for any of it. I think they signed some linebacker like Kendricks from like the Chargers. Yeah. And that was like their only move. They signed like a kicker or something. Like, these aren't what's gonna get you over the hump. Like, you play in a tough division, you play you play hard, NFC, you're gonna have to go against Niners and stuff like that. They're over here with all these players, and you're just over here like, I don't know, we'll just, no urgency, we'll see how it goes. It's like, I don't know, that's just not gonna be it. But this makes it weird because Dak wants a contract too. So
yeah, but he just got he has a big contract already, right? So
I think he got an extension a couple years ago, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Cause I know he wants like a bigger contract, and they didn't give it to him this offseason. Obviously, he's gonna play, but I don't know what that means for next season. They're already kind of iffy on Dak, so I feel like they might just
Trey Lance, hero ball.
Trey Lance, what about that guy, huh? That guy.
I mean, you can just throw it up to CD. It'll work.
Trey Lance isn't good. Like,
no.
I don't know when he ever was good though. Like, was he?
Yeah, watching him in college was.
I feel like back in college, like, he wasn't really like that. Like, maybe I'm missing something, but. He was probably a good player for sure.
He's a locker room guy,
right? Like, he got drafted and stuff, but I don't know. I just don't think that he was ever really that guy, in my opinion. He never really impressed me. Yeah. I think he kind of got unlucky in San Fran. He probably would have had a longer time there if he didn't get hurt. But I mean, you can't say off of that. And then in the preseason, I mean, you throw 5 interceptions against backups. It's like you're not gonna get shine. You're not gonna get your time. And I don't know, it's just unfortunate. But I mean, that's definitely not the option. So, and the team should be like decently good this year. Like the Cowboys, people give them a lot of shit, but
they're always good.
But they're gonna win 10+ games. You know, they're gonna
not including the
playoffs. Definitely a different story. Like you're just like, I don't know. You don't know what you're gonna get. You know, they might win a game. They might just go outside. But as far as the regular season, they're definitely pretty good. So it's not like you're banking on getting a high quarterback out in the draft. So it's just, I don't know what they're gonna do. And the free agent quarterbacks are never good.
No.
In the offseason, like
they get Tyson Bagent and then
try to scoop Davis Mills for a contract. No, that's crazy. But I mean, no, CeeDee Lamb definitely he definitely deserved that contract 100%.
Did Parsons get his contract a couple seasons ago, or
no?
He hasn't got one yet. He's still on rookie, huh?
I think Parsons is still on a rookie deal. I think he got drafted in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, he's probably got a year or two until.
I think this is like the last year of him playing. This is definitely the last year playing out this deal. So Dallas has a lot of issues coming up because they just gave CeeDee Lamb a bag, and it's like. Yeah. But then you got teams like the Eagles that seem like they can sign everybody and do whatever they want. So I don't know. The cap system never really makes sense.
Cowboys they just moved up on like all-time franchises most money or whatever. I think
they never spend it. Yes, yeah.
But I mean, like the only ones above them are like soccer teams and baseball teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they definitely have what they need, but it just depends on. How I don't know how they're going to get it done because all the players that they need to pay are like top players. Yeah. So it's not like, you know, where Texans kind of got a little lucky with like Nico Collins, where it's like he's a good receiver, he had a good year, but it's not like he was looking for like a CeeDee Lamb deal. So you're able to make that shake and still be able to pay some other guys. But Micah Parsons, what is he? Probably like a top 5 edge rusher. Yeah. So it's like you got to pay him like a top 5 edge rusher. So he has to get a max deal. CeeDee Lamb is like top 5 receiver. Yeah. He has all these yards. It's crazy.
And Bland is a fraud, but he low-key is going to have to get a good contract eventually
and
too.
Then it's just like, I think they already gave Diggs a contract. But it's like all the players that they do have in these spots are top players. They have to pay. Yeah. And it's just like either you're going to pay or somebody else will, you know, and it just depends on the player too. Sometimes the players can be a little friendly if they want to stay there, but at the end of the day, like, it's a violent sport. You got to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? You can't like be trying to take friendly deals for the org and then just like then you get hurt or something like that. Like you have to get as much money as you can, especially in your prime. Yeah. Like you can only play football for so long, especially at like D end or something like that. Like D end, how long does a D end play? You know, eventually, like JJ Watt was the best we ever seen, and he still retired like early 30s. Like you know, that's a rough position. You know, so. They have a lot of issues coming up. I don't know what they're going to look like next offseason. Some of their players are probably going to leave. And Parsons might be one of those. You know, he hangs out with Stroud a lot.
Yeah.
He hangs out with Stroud a lot more than he hangs out with Dak or any of the Cowboys players. So, you know, that might be...
Yeah, y'all need another edge rusher, right?
We did pay Danielle Hunter and all that. But, hey, look, there could be room for Micah Parsons. Move somebody.
Put him at outside linebacker.
I mean, that's what he played in college, you know? He played outside linebacker. Hey, get him back to what he was doing in Penn State, hands out of the ground, get him to play like
send him on nickel rushes, bro.
Yeah, like what? I don't know how good he's gonna be in pass coverage, but like I mean, he could disrupt. You know, he could fuck up the mess rats.
Just put Stingley on everybody, and then Parsons will guard the inside.
Hey, I'll definitely take those problems that come with him being right outside linebacker. Like I'll definitely take that. I think he could do. He's kind of fast, bro. He's kind of fast. Like I mean, in that little
he is fast.
In that celebrity little basketball game, like he was moving. Like I mean, I don't know.
He's just athletic in general.
He's not gonna be able to cover like Kelsey or something like that, which is like I mean, no one's really covering him. You're gonna have to put a nickel on him, but I mean, he can get out there. You know what I mean? He can get out there. But your Bears, man, how you feeling?
I'm ready for week 1. Need to get the dub started off. Not like last season. We played Titans, so
yeah.
That should be an easy dub, and it's at home.
It should be easy dub, but Will Levis is one of those guys that like you don't know what you're gonna get from him. Like you don't know if he's gonna be completely just out of there, like what are you doing, or he's gonna throw like 4 tuds, be like Vince Young or something like
yeah,
that.
And their defense is good too.
Yeah, and they just picked up like another linebacker from the Rams.
Didn't they get that corner too from the
Snead?
Snead, yeah.
So it's like they low key have like a sneaky good team, which is why, as a Texans fan, I'm definitely not like just like AFC South is a cakewalk. It's definitely not anymore. Like pretty much every team has like some kind of guy. Colts always play as hard. It's just like it's not a walk in the division.
But I feel like that's the thing with our teams though, is that like we have 3 good receivers, or at least 2 like bona fide star receivers, and then the other one's like Odunze or like Tank Dell, which I mean Tank Dell is him,
right?
But or you could even say Nico Collins, which he's still. I don't think he's completely him, but he is nice.
I don't think he's completely him either. I mean,
I think it's like an Odunze situation though, where it's like they're nice, and they have a lot of room to grow, but they aren't like bona fide yet, like how a Keenan or a Stephon.
Right, they're definitely not that. And you can ask anybody like I'm friends with, like I did not think Nico Collins was good, a couple years ago, or even like before last year. He hadn't done nothing. Plus he was a 3rd round pick, so I wasn't really expecting him to be, some all time, but. I mean, them first couple of years, granted, the Texans were a complete dumpster fire. Like, they were not even close to being a well-run team at all. No players, no motion. So it's like I can't really blame him. But at the same time, when he was on the field, it was awful. Like, I think he had like 400 yards in both seasons, like maybe a touchdown on a one-on-one ball. Then he was hurt a lot. It was bad. So I didn't expect much out of him, but I think having a guy like Stroud can really just put a guy in some good spots, and they definitely weren't using him right. They showed like a metric of like the routes he was running them couple years or whatever, and it was all like little weird like out routes, like
routes,
like 4 yard outs and just stand there next to the sideline. Like they were not using them like over the middle and like stuff like that. It was like everything's a sideline one-on-one ball, so I mean
it's just because he's big though.
It's true, but he also has like crazy speed, so it's crazy to me that they never before thought of like, hey, maybe we should send this dude like inside, like on a post or like on a deep end or like just something, he's dynamic enough to be able to do some stuff. It's just like, no, we're just gonna set him on the sideline one-on-one and just throw a F-it ball and let's just see if he. And it's just like you're not gonna be able to get anything done with that. But we didn't have an offensive coordinator. Yeah, I think it's just it was everything.
But we didn't. I think the biggest thing is that Stroud can just find a dot no matter what. Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter who his receivers are. It's like Mahomes. Like he's gonna find Valdez-Scantling. Right. For a 90-yard bomb.
Yeah, it's like he was making it work last year, and a lot of our players were hurt. I mean, we cut Noah Brown today, but I mean, you remember those like 4 games when Noah Brown was like Jerry Rice? Like Stroud was making this dude look like legit. He had like 7 catches, 170. Like we're like, yo, this dude's crazy. Like, so I definitely think that was part of it. Stroud definitely made Nico Collins, in my opinion. Like, I don't think Nico would be like that pretty much on any other team, to be honest, except for maybe like the Chiefs might figure it out. But I think it was the scheme and how we run him and stuff that makes Nico work. And I don't know. I think Odunze can be that. Like, I think
they have a good connection already. Like, seeing it in preseason and that Hard Knocks.
That pass was dirty. I'm not gonna lie.
That one that in the back of the end zone where he had his feet out. Did you see that one? Yeah. Like that was a dot. Yeah. And he made a nice move and everything. Like sat in the back. He just didn't have his feet in. But I mean, he's like they have a nice connection already. Even better than him. I think
there's something about the rookie connection. Like just even last year with Tank, like he wasn't supposed to be like our best receiver, but he like Heike was. He's nasty because he can run every route and stuff like that. But it's something about that. But even this offseason, like Stroud likes to connect with Tank. It's just I think there's something about coming in rookie, and you kind of have that, especially with them. They were drafted like 1, and then like the next one right there, they're taking all the picks together and stuff. So it's like they're bound to have some crazy connection, But Caleb. He looked pretty good, honestly. Like,
yeah, I wasn't.
all the stuff that I was worried about with him scrambling out and just doing too much was working.
Yeah,
But
he was moving like Fields, just not as fast. Like it was nice, like the scrambles he was making. It was like he was so aware of the pocket.
yeah,
And that's what I was worried about, is that like he would scramble, but he wouldn't be aware of where he was going. But he was actually like making the right reads, stepping up versus rolling out, and yeah, he just looked nice in general.
he knows.
Yeah.
He has a different sense. Like, he's almost more comfortable when he's moving around, and he has like a sixth sense feeling when like stuff is about to like snap. And you can just really tell, because there's times where you're like, all right, bro, you can kind of can this play, like just throw that out. But he'll keep it alive. Now, I will say that might bite him sometimes in the regular season when you're actually going against. Not saying he was, because he was starting, and the starters were in on like those games.
But week 2 and Danielle Hunter.
But yeah, it's like when you start really going in and it gets like later in the year. It's like Miami, like when they start off super hot and they can do all this like crazy stuff, put on 70 points. But then when it gets like cold and it's like, all right, you actually have to play like sound football now. Like, is it gonna like start fucking up when we start having to go against, real deal all the time?
Like Aiden Hutchinson, second time we played him, bro. He's gonna be on a tear.
Right, Hutchinson's line, like so you gotta. That's the only worry I have, is like how many play, like there's gonna be the, oh my god, that was a crazy play, but there's also gonna be like, all right, bro, like we could have just like got rid of that, or like just dumped it off, or like did something. But
yeah, he's definitely gonna throw some picks that he's just trying to force it in,
right? Or take like a stupid bad sack where it's like he thinks that he could just like Superman out of there and just take like the worst sack you've ever seen.
Yeah, now you're 3rd and 20.
Yeah, it's like 3rd and like 30, bro, and you're trying to like just airmail it, or you just run the running back draw, punt. So that's the only thing I'm worried about with him. But
we have that crazy punter now too. Bro, he flips the field crazy. He punts it like 80 yards. What? Like, it's crazy to be hyped about a punter.
Didn't y'all draft him in like, what round?
It was like the 4th or 5th round, I think.
That's actually crazy.
I know, bro.
Like,
I mean, he won the best punter award last year, and he's like had more yards punting than their offense did last year.
So, I mean, hey, he might have to he might have to be ready, because if Caleb takes a bad sack, then he's gonna have to boot that thing,
In that Hard Knocks, they were saying, "What's your nickname? Do they call you the crocodile punter?" And he's like, "No, I've never heard that before."
Yeah.
The crocodile punter.
But I think Caleb is gonna definitely be. I think he's gonna be good.
I mean, we have the perfect situation for him.
Yeah, I mean,
running back's nice, and we have backup running backs if anybody gets hurt. Receivers are nice.
Right.
Tight ends are nice.
Yeah.
Offensive line is still a little shaky, but we have a lot of pieces. Like Darnell Wright is looking really good.
The offensive line is definitely shaky, I think.
But the defense is crazy. So.
But with his movability, he can bail out more often than more often than.
But we said that about Fields too.
Right.
And he was getting pressured every single fucking play.
And yeah, because sometimes the pressure, it just causes a dead play. Like if the defense just gets way too much shed and they're just right in there, you're not going to really be able to scramble. You're just going to have to get down.
Like playing Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
playing,
so
bro.
it's just
he's going to be there every single time.
But if you don't have a good, if you don't have at least a good, couple seconds, it could really just disrupt the whole play. But I don't know. I think y'all will definitely be a good team. Y'all's schedule is pretty favorable too, so
it's pretty cake.
Yeah,
I think we play 3 top 5 teams and that's it.
I'm expecting 10. I'm expecting around 10 wins, 10-7. I think that y'all might drop some close ones, just like the Texans last year, where it's we lost to Desmond Ritter. You know what I mean? And you're just how did we do that? But I think that y'all will get better down the stretch, in my opinion. I think in the beginning it might be a little.
That's how we were last
win a game. Texans started off 0-2, and we was kind of But you kind of find your groove and how they want to really run the offense. After you get through a couple weeks, I think towards the back end y'all will be way better than at first. So
I think we'll be fine at the beginning of the season though, just because even if the offense starts off rocky, our defense just coming out of the preseason, they're on like a different level right now. Like their energy's crazy. So they're definitely gonna win us a game or two in the first couple weeks.
Oh yeah, y'all's defense is definitely underrated. I still don't think enough people really talk about the power y'all have on defense. I mean, the defense was super strong, especially towards the end of last year.
Weeks.
Yeah, like in the beginning, I was like, I don't know, but towards the end, you could really see a gel. I mean, the Montez Sweat addition, I think, really set y'all to a different level right there. Just having him, rushing and doing all that.
After Sweat, number one in every single metric in defense.
Right, like I think, like getting Sweat was a crazy addition. Like Brisker, like all these guys are just
Jalen.
Right, Jalen Johnson. These guys fly around. You know, the secondary is definitely a menace.
And our linebackers are crazy too.
The linebackers, the defense I think really doesn't get talked about as much in this group. But it's kind of the same way with I think like teams that have good offensive cores, like they don't, the defense doesn't get talked about a lot because
like the Bucks or something like that.
Right, because like the NFL, you know how it is. Everyone likes offense. Everyone likes scoring and stuff like that. So defense kind of gets overshadowed when your team has a lot of stars on offense. But I think the Bears definitely have a really good defense that I think, like you said, is going to win them games more often than not, especially in some of these stinkers like the Titans and stuff like that, even though the Titans have gotten better. But remember last year, the Texans went into the Titans game with Case Keenum, and our defense was the one that really won it. They had like a bunch of sacks on Will Levis, was able to get back there, shut down Hopkins. So it's like, I think that will be the thing for y'all. But you know what I'm going to say? Y'all got to beat Green Bay.
Yeah,
and
I want at least one, but you have to get two. I think we got Lions twice though, so it's like if we can get at least one on the Packers, then we should be straight on.
I don't know about the Lions. You say that, but I don't know.
Bro, we have their number. I don't know what you're telling.
I don't know how confident I am that it's gonna just be like a 2-0 against the Lions. They have a lot of players, bro. They have a lot of players.
No, they are. They're good.
They're good, but y'all do play them well though. So I don't know. It's like the Texans with the Jaguars. It's like
they're like our sons.
We just play them well no matter what.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
Caleb's getting into the rivalry shit too. So
I did see that when they were talking about like the Green Bay and stuff like that. So, but I think that he'll definitely be able to get y'all to beat Green Bay if anybody can. I mean, plus Green Bay is definitely a good team and they're just well coached. Like they never have like insane players.
Their coaches are,
but they just coach super well and their players just play extra hard. Yeah. And especially during that Bears game, like they want that dub, bro. Like they do everything they possibly can.
Bro, they circle it every single time.
Yeah, it's like so they're gonna be pulling shit out the hat. And it's going to be people that you don't want to burn you. Like, you're going to be locking up Watson and all that stuff. And then it's going to be like Dontavian Wicks that just has like a 7-catch, 140 bomb. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
is it Josh Jacobs that went to the Packers?
Oh, yeah, bro. Like, just get ready for that.
Bro, we had Aaron Jones before. Now it's fucking...
Aaron Jones... Bro, honestly, Josh Jacobs is like way better than Aaron Jones.
I know, and Aaron Jones cooked us every single time, bro.
Like Josh Jacobs is different, bro. He's gonna be on a new team, on a new mission. He might absolutely.
Hopefully, he just doesn't get the rivalry.
He might absolutely. You don't even need to get the rivalry. He just needs to get the ball, and that dude might take off, bro. Like wasn't he the rushing leader like 2 years ago? Like, bro, Josh Jacobs is different, bro.
I think he was number one in fantasy last year or 2 years ago too.
Yeah, I think it was that year that he was like, the top rusher.
Yeah, like 40 a year or 40 a game. I mean,
he's good in the receiving game, just like Jones. Like he can do everything.
Josh and he's just bigger too. Yeah. He doesn't get hurt like.
He's a bully, bro. When y'all go against him, all the defensive players we just named, they better lace up because
I swear to God.
Jacobs. He's coming different, bro.
Fuck a quarterback spy, put a running back spy.
Yeah, because that dude, bro. But it's inevitable. He's gonna get his, bro. He's gonna have like 100 total. Oh yeah, you know. But I don't know. I think I'm thinking 10-7. I don't know if y'all win the division though. I'm still giving it to the Lions. I think
the Lions are nice and even during the playoffs. You could see how much better they were than some teams. But I just think it's like, if we match up against them, especially if he makes it to the playoffs when we play them. I don't know, man. It might be the year.
That would be a money playoff matchup. They're definitely if I'm saying they're winning the division, that means that they're definitely probably gonna be home.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, they're one of those teams right now that just like has a buzz.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's a great coach. They're just gonna
they have good energy too.
Right, and then it's like Goff knows how to win, bro. He's not fancy, he's not flashy, but that dude will throw some dots.
Yeah, they went nice with it where they did like all young everybody and then Jared Goff like in the center, just
Jahmyr Gibbs, like I mean they can just do it. Montgomery, he can get it done. Like they just have so many ways they can get it done.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of have the same thing with the Packers, where it's like it's a Mon-Ra, you know that, but they always just have some other receiver that's gonna like be crazy too. Like when they had Char, Laporta is nice. Like it's just
the keeper.
It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. I think that y'all's division is definitely gonna be crazy. The Vikings, I don't think y'all gotta worry about them. I mean, they're gonna have Darnold probably playing the entire year.
Like 4 picks against us last year.
Yeah, they have Darnold playing the entire year because Noah McCarthy, he had that knee surgery.
Darnold is okay though. Like he's not bad.
He's definitely good. He's good. He's still young somehow. Like I just feel like every year they're like, he's still only like 24 years old. It's like how has he been 24 for like 5 years? But like, I think that he's definitely good. I mean, the Jets situation was freaking piss poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you gonna do again? What are you gonna even do with it? I don't even remember like who he had at receivers.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't matter.
Like
because they were bums.
It was so bad.
Not to mention the O-line.
Yeah, it was so bad on the Jets. And then they're like, all right, happy birthday. You go to the Panthers that are like just as bad, like no motion. It's just like he just really hasn't had the best luck with the situations. And then in 49ers, he's just like kind of sitting there. So I don't know. This could be like a,
like
Sam Darnold,
like
Sam
a Geno
Darnold
Smith
arrives.
type of deal.
Yeah, this could be like a Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, new situation. You're throwing to the best receiver in the league.
And Addison.
No, Addison's hurt now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I think he tore his ACL or something like that in like practice like a couple weeks ago.
So he's probably out until like week 10 or longer.
I think he's out for the year.
Yeah, I was gonna say ACL is crazy.
He's out for the year, and then I don't know if you saw, but earlier Hawkinson, he's starting off the year on like IR or whatever. So he's not out for the season, but he's out for like the first like 4 games. So look, it might really actually be like pretty fucking rough for Minnesota in the beginning. Like, what do you
Aaron
do?
Jones, though, huh? Isn't that?
Yeah, I mean, but like you have Aaron Jones, and then like you have Jefferson, but like who else do you have? Like I don't know.
Chill, Sam Darnold's a man.
They're gonna have to figure something out, and I don't know how good their defense really is. They were getting exposed last year a lot on defense, like so. Man, I just
and they have no Hunter now too.
Yeah, they have no Hunter. They did get Grenard from the Texans, but it's kind of a downgrade. Like, Grenard's nice, but he's kind of like a Nico Collins situation where I didn't really think much of him until last year. He had a good year, but I feel like there's always somebody random that gets like a good year when it comes to like pass rushing. There's always some random dude where you're like, who's this guy that has 10.5 sacks or something? Like, you know what I mean? But I think that they're definitely not going to be a good team, in my opinion. I think they're going to be
like 6 or 7.
They're going to be around middle of the pack. They're not going to be the worst team you've ever seen, but they're definitely not going to be good, especially with the first 4 weeks. No Hawkinson, you're pretty much just I mean, Jefferson for fantasy might be pretty good though. I mean,
and Aaron Jones, to be honest, if he stays healthy.
Right. And he usually He gets hurt around like week 5 or 6.
Bro, I've had him like 3 years in a row. He's hurt every year. So
he gets hurt in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Which is like the worst time.
And then he's out
especially
for like 6 weeks.
Especially for like fantasy. It's like, because he starts off good, and you're like, okay, I got like a good like RB2, RB1, like whatever. And then next he gets like some hamstring headache, and then it's just like you don't see him again from like week 5 till like week 9. He might come back, and then he's like not the same.
I think last year was week 12, and then he came in, played 1 game, and then was like, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like he's kind of one of those where it's like you just never know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about them though.
They're definitely not going to be a good team.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd say 6 or 7 though.
6 or 7 wins is like the line.
I didn't look at their schedule though, so I don't know. If, they probably do have a tougher schedule though. They've had an easy schedule the last couple of years.
They didn't make the playoffs though, so it's like, I know that goes into it. Like if you win your division, your first place, you get the first place schedule. Mm-hmm. If you're last, whatever.
I mean, they had the same record as us last year, I'm pretty sure.
Right, but like the Texans, like, you know, they played an easy schedule last year, but it was because the year before they won like 3 games. You know, so it's like, I think their schedule will probably be like somewhere around middle of the pack. I mean, they have to play Packers, Lions, Bears. You know, that's like 8 of their games, so it's like, I mean, that's not a good start. You know,
we played Colts, Texans, and Titans.
So you play the AFC South. Yeah.
I don't know if we play Jags. We might.
If you're playing the AFC South, you play the Jags then. Because last year Texans had NFC South like as one of the people like we were playing. So we played Carolina, we played Atlanta, we played New Orleans.
We play Carolina this year too.
Yeah, so you're definitely gonna play the Jags at some point then if you got them. But
I was thinking it was probably like week 8.
Yeah,
could be wrong. No, it should be good though.
Yeah.
You excited about these Texans?
I'm definitely excited about the Texans. This is the most excitement I've had for the team in a while.
Mm-hmm. Since Joe Johnson, Arian Foster.
It's definitely. Even with those teams, like I was excited about them, like during like the 2012, like kind of 20 to like 2014. Mm-hmm. I was excited about the team, but there was always something about the team that just felt a little off in those eras. I don't know what it was, but there's
like something's missing.
Right, you could ask like any Texans fan, like in those eras, it was like we were good, and especially during those years, we had a couple like 14-2s in there. Like we were actually like nice, but there was something that always just felt like we didn't have it set up,
was that or Schaub years?
Yeah, like the Schaub years when he was kind of like the man for like 4 years until he just like fell off the map. But you know, we were good. We had a good system, but I definitely wasn't as excited on that team that I was for this team now. I think the last time I've been this excited for the season for the Texans was probably like 2019, like Houston Texans when we had like Watson, you know. Watson, Hopkins, Fuller. You know, we were a good team, and like we were.
Was that James Conner too, or no, not James Conner? What was the running back y'all got that year?
We had a couple guys.
That was the year after, huh? Because y'all traded for.
We traded for David Johnson, but that was when we were.
David Johnson.
That was when we had traded Hopkins. We were going downhill. Yeah. It was over by then.
But that team was good though.
We had Lamar Miller, I think, in that.
Oh yeah. Miller was nice.
Miller was nice. I liked Miller.
He's nice on the Dolphins too.
Yeah, and then we had Carlos Hyde, I think, like the year before. We were kind of doing this like just picking up a running back and like just making it work. Mm-hmm. But I was excited for those teams. But this is definitely the most excitement I've had, probably ever, to be honest. Like
I mean, the team's the best it's ever been.
This is definitely the team. It's the best it's ever been on the field. But it's also the best it's ever been, just like as an organization. Like we've always been hated on with like how our organization's been run. I mean, we had all these guys in the background, like we had some dude that we had to like get rid of. I'm like blanking on his name right now, but he was like some like pastor dude that we were like that was like in the building making it, you know, toxic and the whole Bill O'Brien stuff. Like it was just like this whole thing of like we just had like this dark cloud, it felt like, over us. But now I feel like we're finally out of that.
And everything's like congealing together.
Right, we have the coaches, we have the, you know, the ownership is happy with, you know, the McNairs. They're like out and about and like saying what's up to Texans fans, and they're on like Reddit and shit, like replying to fans like, yo, what up, like throwing up the H and stuff. Like it's like, you know, it finally feels like it's a good energy and aura and everything, all the words you want to put on it. And
yeah,
I'm definitely excited for the year. We definitely have a tough schedule and stuff, but what I'm excited about is that every game to me is going to be like a get on the couch and lock in. Mm-hmm. There's no game where you're going to be like, I don't feel like watching. Like you want to be locked in for the Texans games. They have Stroud, they have all this, like you want to see what happens on the field. It's going to be one of those teams. I think the defense flies around, especially like the D-line and the linebackers. The secondary is a little iffy outside of Stingley. I do like our rookie, Lassimer. He's been making good plays. He looks like he's a dog from Georgia. Yeah. I'm excited about him. But I mean, it's gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna be so locked in every single game, probably blowing up every single group message with just everything that happens in the game. But it's gonna be an exciting year. It's honestly, in my opinion, the Texans is AFC Championship or bust. In my opinion,
yeah,
we have to make it to the championship game. In my opinion, for me to really feel like I got value out of this season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy this season no matter what. I've watched the Texans be the absolute mud, like under the mud, like that bad. Where it's like, and I'm still tuned in the games, like texting my boys, like, yo, you see that Davis Mills pass to Chris Moore? Like, we're still trying to get hype, like, you know. So it's like I'm watching regardless, and either way, it's a dub season. But I think the only way for it to really be a dub season is AFC Championship. Yeah. We have to at least be in that game. If we're in that game and we lose or whatever, I'm gonna be pissed. But at least it's like improvement. I don't want to see, like, we won a playoff game last year. You know, we went to the divisional. You know, we have to make it past the divisional, in my opinion. You know, you're gonna play a tough team like Ravens, Chiefs, somebody that's hard. I want to see us get past it, and that will show me we're moving in the right direction. But I'm definitely stupid excited for this team. This is gonna be an awesome year. It's gonna be an awesome year. I can't wait for week 1. Like I'm looking at my phone, like, just like, I don't even care like about the roster cuts and stuff. Like, I'm looking at it, but it's like, dude, I'm ready to get to the games, bro. They can start the games next week. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I'm ready to go. You know, I think this is gonna be exciting. I
honestly think, just me personally, I think y'all's best pickup was Joe Mixon on the offseason. Because, you know me, I'm a running back. Yeah. Like, I love running backs, bro. But I think Joe Mixon is so dirty, and he's going to fit that scheme so well. Like, he's just a big version of Motor, basically.
Right. And I think that he definitely gets, like, a little bit undervalued because it's like he's been on these offenses with, like, all these weapons and stuff. But people sleep, man. Like, Joe Mixon is really one of those dudes.
He can go 30 rushes for 200 yards.
Right, bro. And then like they sleep like his receiving game. Like, he'll take a split screen to the crib, bro. Like, he is one of those guys. He can take over a game. He can have a 3-touchdown game. Like, he could really, and that's been one of the weakest spots in the Texans' like offense lately. Is like just having no running game. Yeah. The Texans, we're going more air raid now that we actually have somebody that wants to throw the ball downfield. We have a dot specialist. Yeah. But
you still need to run the ball.
You still need to run the ball, and we just haven't had that consistency in the run game. Last year, Dameon Pierce started off the year, wasn't good. You know, Motor kind of finally got the running game going, someone that we could trust to like make some moves, be shifty. But having a Joe Mixon back there, I mean, you hand the ball off to him, he's getting 3 yards at least. Yeah. So, and then you can use him in the pass game. They showed this one play in practice like a week ago. He like did basically like a running back wheel. Snapped the ball, running back wheel to the outside, one-on-one. Stroud puts the ball like right over the shoulder. He caught on the sideline for like a 20, 30-yard game. Like, he's catching, like, he's doing like receiver routes. Like, he's somebody that could really be like the X factor. Like, oh, you somehow covered everybody else somehow. And now we're just gonna abuse Mixon like every single play. It's gonna be insane. I think that he's definitely one of our better pickups, but I'm definitely the weakest part of the team, in my opinion, is definitely the secondary.
Safeties. Yeah.
Outside of like a few players that I'm like Stingley, I'm not worried about him locking anybody up. I'm not really worried about our rookie Lassimer, but outside of that, it gets a little dicey. I think they're gonna kind of use Stingley as like a Jamal Adams kind of like nickel. He's gonna basically be a glorified right outside linebacker and just kind of blitz and make plays. But yeah, that's where it gets a little bit dicey to me. But they looked good in the preseason, so I don't know. We'll see how the secondary plays. But I'm definitely hyped for the year. Texans Bears, man. I mean,
movie. It's okay. You can start the season 1-1. It's okay. It's okay.
Texans Bears. Me and Chase are pulling up the Texans Bears in Houston. Sunday Night Football. It's gonna be an absolute movie scene. So we've been talking shit back and forth basically throughout the off season. Ever since we bought the tickets, we're going with like a group of friends. But that game is gonna be so hyped for so many different reasons. Like, it's Sunday night football. You know, Texans Bears. This is the resurgence of both teams.
The quarterbacks,
the offenses, like
the secondary,
the defenses. Like, this is good. This could be one of those games that, you know, in the off season when we're like missing football, we put on the YouTube video like Texans Bears week 2 Sunday night football. Like, you know, just to like be like, this game was such a fucking movie, and I'm so excited to go to that game. Like,
yeah, it's a 35-38.
I'm so excited. I'm literally looking at my calendar like I just cannot wait
to
like get on the road and go. Like, that whole weekend is gonna be such a movie. Like, going in, we're gonna be there.
Being back in the H,
bro. Yeah. We're gonna be back in Houston. Friday, you know what I'm saying, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, it's gonna be a whole like movie that whole weekend, and I'm super hyped for it. The prediction is definitely, I'm still keeping 31. I'm going to say 31-21 Texans. I just think that the experience of Texans from last year is going to push us to the edge. But okay. I think it's definitely going to be a close game for sure. It's no one's blowing anyone out. Let's just like either that's the score. Either the Bears get it or the Texans get it. But
it's within 2 possessions.
But the score is going to be like 35-28, some shit like that. Yeah. And I don't know, but I'm definitely excited for that game. I cannot wait. Mm-hmm. The atmosphere. I can feel the stadium right now. Like, I can feel like how it's gonna feel in the stadium. It's gonna be packed. It's gonna be sold out, and just how it's gonna feel in the stadium. Like, the energy is gonna be absolutely nuts, bro. I want to be. That might be like a Four Loko night. Like, like I don't know. Like, it's just like that's gonna be crazy. I want to get there early too, just to.
We gotta find that old formula.
Yeah, we might have to pull out some old tricks here to like really.
The 4-7 years ago logo.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely like, I don't know. That's gonna be such a movie.
Yeah.
But
and the Brisker jersey should be coming soon too. Yes, sir. The orange. Yeah, we might lock in on y'all. I need at least one pick. No. At least one.
Honestly, Stroud be kind of gunslinging sometimes, so I don't doubt that he throws. But he also only threw like 7 picks last year, so it's like he kind of just throws dots. I don't know. So, but y'all, I mean, it's early in the year. You know, it's early in the year. You know, anything can happen.
Man. I mean, anything can happen.
You know what I think is gonna happen? I think Swift is gonna have the nastiest fumble of all time. Swift is gonna be one of those guys that puts the ball on the ground, and I just can't wait for that. That's definitely what's gonna happen.
Nah.
I don't think anyone I think Caleb might throw a pick trying to do some goofy hero shit, and Stingley's just gonna yop that. But I think that Swift is gonna try to like do something crazy, and he's gonna put the ball on the ground, and that's gonna like turn the game. I think something like that's gonna happen.
Who do you put Stingley on? Keenan or DJ?
DJ.
Yeah.
Stingley wants to cover somebody that's going more vertical. Keenan plays 2 underneath and stuff like that, so Stingley's not going to be on him. I mean, obviously, he's going to switch up throughout the game. I think if Keenan's on the outside, but Stingley wants to play whoever's on the sideline, and that's probably going to be.
Who's y'all's third corner?
That secondary I'm talking about. I think we still have. I think Okuda, but I think he's been hurt, and hopefully he's still hurt by the time the game starts. Because oh my god, I don't trust that dude on the field at all. Like after Lassimer, it kind of really just goes downhill when it comes to the DBs. I'm really not excited for it. Safeties, I'm okay with them. You know, Jimmy Ward should be good. He's a hard hitter. Sometimes he kind of gets a
little burnt.
He gets burnt because he's aggressive, and it works sometimes. But sometimes
he jumps it too much.
Sometimes he can bite on the double move extra heavy because he wants to make a big hit or he wants to do something. Like he's definitely a big hitter, but sometimes he over pursuits and it can get him fried. And then I think we're gonna have Bullock, that dude from USC. I think he's gonna actually probably start as well. So
I mean, the team that had the most high scoring games every game last season.
Who were they playing? Like what, dude? USC is such a Mickey school, but
I think they should still be fine, but that's definitely on a Dunze fade route to the end zone.
Yeah, I definitely think y'all are gonna get a deep shot on us. It just depends.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's
we have too much verticality on the team.
too much verticality. I'm not worried about Sting, but yeah, I think that somebody else is definitely gonna give up a play.
Yeah.
But I'm not really worried about like the run game. The Texans have been like really good on the run. I mean, we shut down Henry last year. You know, Henry played us like twice last year, and they were bottling him up. Like D'Amico Ryans gets those boys to fly.
Yeah.
You know, he's a defensive minded coach. He's not taking no
too.
He's not taking no like, oh, we're just gonna run the ball and get a million yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not happening. So, you know, I'm not worried about that. It's definitely just the passing game and just being sound with Caleb Williams wiggling around and doing all this stuff. Like you gotta be sound.
I think Udinze will be the one in that game though, just because your 1 and 2 corners they're gonna cover well, and I think DJ will get locked up by Stingley pretty much. I mean, he'll probably have like 4 for 60 or something like that, but I don't know. I just don't see him having an explosive day. I'd see Odunze getting out and getting a couple catches and then just having a day.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that I don't think that Keenan and Caleb have really gotten locked in just yet.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's why I don't think that might happen. That might not happen. But I do think that he will be open in the underneath, in the stuff like that. So he could end up having like a bunch of catches, you know. I don't know. He's not really going to be beating us vertical though. He's just going to kind of be catching underneath, some run after the catch. Komet could be one of those guys though. I'm not really in love with how our linebackers cover.
Yeah. And Komet is nasty.
Aziz is better, but he's also kind of like a run-stopping middle linebacker, but he's good at that, and he can cover the underneath. But just trying to put, you know, one of those guys, like I think we have like Henry Torto, he's not good at covering at all. And then Christian Harris, who had like the pick 6 in the Browns game, he's like, you know, he's hurt, so I don't know if he's gonna even like really play this year. So yeah, I don't know. Cole Kmet could be one of those ones for sure.
He's always one of them ones.
Yeah, he could definitely be one.
That's
of them.
Out of there. It should be good though, regardless.
No, yeah. Either way, it's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Defensive specialist.
I'm gonna enjoy the game no matter what. I'm gonna be there. Like, just going to a game is just always lit. So it just really doesn't matter.
And it'll be our 2 teams too. Yeah, it's movie time.
Yeah, especially we're gonna be with our guys. Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a movie. We're probably gonna be hanging out like the whole day before too. So it's like that whole day, that whole weekend is just gonna be like super fire. So I'm definitely stupid excited for that.
Yeah.
But look, fantasy season's around the corner, man.
Yeah, this dude has Nico Collins over Stephon Diggs by almost fucking 24 spots. That's crazy to me. And
Nico Collins is going way too high in fantasy this year, in my opinion. He had a good year last year, and I think last year was the year that if you wanted to get Nico Collins, that was the year to get him. That was the year to snipe him because he was falling super late. People weren't hyped about the Texans. You could get Nico Collins in the 12th. You could get Nico Collins in the 11th. Nico Collins right now is going in like round like 2 and 3.
Yeah, no.
That is outrageous to draft Nico Collins that high. Not for anything about Nico Collins, but it's just the Texans have so many weapons. He's not gonna feast every single.
He'll be good, but it's like you can't have that much volume.
Right, and then he's not gonna have that much volume, and then. You know, it's going to be like last year. Last year, it was like the same kind of issues sometimes, just not at like as much of a greater scale. But it was like some games, Nico Collins had 145 yards and a tud, and other games he had 4 catches for 50, and it was Tank Dell Day, or it was, you know, whoever day, Noah Brown or whoever, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's definitely going to be like that, where it's like, dude, some games are going to be Diggs Day, some games are going to be Tank Dell's eating, some games are going to be Nico. But it's not going to be all of them, and there's too many for it to be consistent enough for you to be taking him with your 2nd round pick. There's way better options to pick in the 2nd or 3rd round than Nico Collins, you know?
Yeah.
But who's somebody underrated that you think is kind of flying under the radar of fantasy?
I don't know. I think... I mean, your boy... Rashad White always flies under, to be honest, because like he's a solid 20 piece, and that's one of the most valuable things you can have is a running back that stays healthy and gets you 20 every week.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, White's definitely one of those ones. I think it's just because he's not a household name and he doesn't really get a lot of burn in like the media and stuff like that. He's not like super flashy or whatever, but I mean, he was like what RB4 last year, finishing off the year in a full PPR. He's gonna get pass game work because they finally figured out that he's a receiving back, you know, for once, and hopefully their offensive line blocks a little bit better so that you can actually like have a lane to run through. But despite the offensive line being terrible last year and, you know, them getting a kind of late start as far as like them kind of meshing together, he still finished as RB4. I mean, he's somebody that, like, you know, especially if you're playing in a league where you're not playing with a bunch of guys that like are really deep into football, he's one of those guys that can again fall and again be a top back, and people are just like looking at your team like, how are you getting this many points from this guy? Like, what is he even doing? Like, people don't even understand like his value, but he's definitely someone that's going a little low.
You know, I think people are sleeping on Kyler Murray too.
Yeah,
because he's been not on the field, you know, and they have a solid little team. Yeah, like their offense looks pretty nice, and their defense isn't the greatest, but they're nice. Right, and they have a decent O-line.
And you get that rushing upside. Yeah, you get that rushing upside with Kyler that obviously not every single quarterback is going to give you, you know. And
now he has McBride too, and McBride's
nice.
McBride's
nice. Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously is going to command a lot.
Is Michael Wilson their number 2?
No. Well, I don't know. I know they don't have Rondale anymore. Yeah. But
Indiana.
I don't really know who their 2 is, to be honest. But I think McBride's probably going to be like the bona fide 2, like pass catcher. They still have James Conner who can get the job done. But
their backup running backs decent. I know he moved. He moved to the Bengals, I think.
Who?
Oh, what is his name? The running back last year. He's small, dark skinned.
You're talking about like, nah, it's definitely not Eno Benjamin. Because Eno Benjamin, I don't think he was really on the team like that.
It was somebody else. I can't remember now.
But I think that he's definitely
Connor's nice.
He's definitely probably getting a little bit undervalued right now because I think people think the Cardinals are going to be like a bad team, which they might, like, overall be like not amazing. Yeah. But I think that because people are like drafting Anthony Richardson really high, which like fair, but
it's the same thing.
You could pretty much get that with Kyler, maybe toned down just a little bit because he's probably
you don't
not
have to worry about injuries,
right? Because you know, Anthony Richardson, there were still plays in the preseason of Anthony Richardson, like, trying to not sliding, like, taking hits on linebackers. And there was, like, this Colts fan that was, like, ready. He was like, bro, slide. Like, watching the game. It's like, I don't think he really still understands that he just can't truck everybody. Yeah. And I think that that's going to get him caught up.
It's a quarterback problem.
You already had a shoulder injury, and you're still not getting it. Like, so, I don't know. We'll see. He's definitely, but I think Kyler, for sure, is definitely one of those ones that's fallen down a little bit.
I think he can be a top 10 quarterback, though.
I think he can finish top 10 just from the rushing upside alone. He gets a lot.
But he has an arm, too.
He has an arm, and, like,
he's just small.
In the goal line, you know they like to do the little read options and stuff like that. He's nasty at it. Like,
he loves swinging to that left side, bro.
He's going to go to that left or right side, and this is going to be an easy walk-in. So, you know, he can get a lot of that. He can give you, like, 50 yards just scrambling on the ground on, like, an off day, you know, and a touch with, like, you know, 280 and 2 in the air, you know, easily.
Another good thing about him, rushing-wise, is that it's going to sound weird, but he's small. So, like, when you're running that read option, you're seeing that big running back run through. James Conner is a big-ass running back. And then the big offensive line, you're not going to see this little midget running around.
Plus Kyler's a baseball player, so he slides, and he's not gonna barrel into like a starting linebacker and like risk it. Like, he's gonna get as much yards as he can. He's gonna go out of bounds. He's gonna slide. It's gonna keep him up. So yeah, I mean, Kyler, I think he's definitely a good pick. Like, you can definitely probably get him in like the 6, maybe. Like, it just depends on like your league and like you know who's there's always gonna be somebody that like makes like a crazy like bite or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think he's definitely somebody that you
Kelsey
can
first
get
round.
later. Kelsey. I don't know. I'm kind of. I wouldn't say I'm off of Kelsey, but I just feel like I'm never in a position to draft him.
Yeah, I just don't like drafting that high for a tight end. Like I'd rather get like a Dalton Schultz or something
Right.
like that, where I don't have to reach. I can find him in a good spot, and he's worth more than where I can
Yeah,
get him.
I think I had him 1 year in one of my leagues, but he was. I think I got him from like a trade maybe or something.
It is nice having him though.
Like having him, you're like, wow, this is disgusting. But like drafting him, it just always seems like you have to get him early. Like you have to get him in like the second round. And you know me, I like going wide receivers in fantasy.
Yeah.
And the second round, when you still got, the T. Higgins of the world and like
Adams.
the Jalen Waddles, the Devonta Smiths, maybe, like it's like, am I really gonna go Kelsey? He kind of acts like your wide receiver too at the end of the day, and he is kind of a hack because no other tight end's really gonna go like band for band with him when it comes to like that. But I mean, you have guys that get the job done. Like I was drafting Hawkinson a lot last year. Hawkinson was having amazing games where I wasn't worried about my tight end.
Until
Right. Yeah, like Hawkinson was nice all year. I think one of my championship games, I was running like Jawan Johnson at the end of the year just because he was like a touchdown merchant. He ended up like
doing nice stuff.
I think it was in my main league too, where I ran him like
you get like 3 for 40 at a touchdown.
I think he had like 2 touchdowns that game. Like he was like insane. Fantasy championship, Jawan Johnson was like on one, but like. You could always usually like find some guys like that are just like in a right position that you could just, hey, this guy, he ain't Travis Kelsey, but he gonna give you some work. You just gotta find it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I got Sam Laporte. That's W season all day.
Laporte is good.
And last pick keeper. Yes, sir.
I think Jaden Daniels is definitely a sleeper for fantasy. I think that he might actually be really good.
Terry McLaurin too. I mean, he's gonna throw some dots down.
Terry McLaurin's one of those ones that's going kind of low.
Yeah, I draft him every year really low because I can get him like 8th round. It's like, why would I not take him?
I think it's just because people aren't excited about him, which I get because I'm not either. He's not one of those people where I'm like jumping to get him. I never really have like him on my radar, but he's definitely good.
He's one of my favorite receivers.
He's a good receiver. I just never end up really having him on any of my teams, but I think that he's definitely a good player. He's gonna be one of the only ones catching the ball, so he could be a PPR like menace where he's just like he's getting 9, 8 catches.
That's what he needs really is that he needs the touches.
And then Jaden Daniels, he'll put that thing down there, bro. He'll throw that thing deep. Give him a one-on-one and stuff like that. But then Jaden with his legs, like people really underestimate, like that's pretty much the reason why he won the Heisman. Like he can literally scramble out and get a big play. He kind of has the same thing with Anthony Richardson where sometimes he just thinks that he's like Mark Ingram or something and can just like truck everybody. But
he'll figure that out.
Yeah, he'll figure that out after like, I don't know, playing like Justin Simmons like lays him out one good time or something. But I think that his rushing upside and things like that, I think that he's somebody that you could maybe get later because he's a rookie. Get him, and then he could actually end up being like that guy, like a Justin Fields, where it's like maybe the team isn't all that, but him himself with the rushing, like he could end up getting 100 rushing yards in a game, where you're just like, bro, Jaden Daniels had like a big ass like run down the sideline and just boost your numbers. I think that he could be somebody that you could get a little bit later and still benefit pretty good off of. Who else do I like?
How you feel, Puka or Cooper Kupp?
It's hard because
Who do you think is gonna be the number one? Really, it's got to be Cooper Kupp, right?
I mean, he like goes on dates with Stafford. They go on like coffee dates, and they know like calling each other, FaceTime.
They know each other's favorite color,
right? Like FaceTiming at night and stuff. Have like a whole little relationship going on. But I don't know, man. It just looks like kind of Puka kind of took over in a way. But I just think Cooper Kupp always does this though, where if you actually look at his like his metrics, his like game log, it's like every 3 years he's like insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has like 1 year where he's like, oh my god, and then he has like an injured year, and then he has like a little another like what the fuck, like he like tore his ACL, and then like. You know, he came back, and that's when the Matt Stafford year, the Super Bowl year, where he was the best in fantasy, best in football.
Yeah.
And then last year, you know what I'm saying, he was, you know, injured up, whatever.
But when he came back, they were splitting pretty good.
Right. They were pretty much literally even when it came to like targets and like catches. Like
they were both getting like 7 for 90 and stuff.
Right.
It's like it's weird how
Cup was getting 7, Puka was getting 7. It was just like. Sometimes Puka would just break it out and get like, you know, his 100 or whatever. He's just strong, you know, so it's like he bounces off of tacklers and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think personally the move, if you're going to get one of the Rams receivers, is to go Cup because Puka is going super high. You're going to have to get Cup. I mean, you're going to have to get Puka
second round, third round.
In the second round. He's not going to. He's not even going to go to 3.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get him in the second round, and that's like if you're not playing in a league with like keepers. Like in my main league, we have keepers. Puka's probably he could go in the first.
Yeah.
Like it's just that simple, and you could probably get Cup. You know, in like the 3rd or 4th, because people are thinking like, oh, you know, he's a 31-year-old receiver. He's like, oh, Puka's the guy, and you can get Cup, and then next thing you know, we'll be looking back like, why do we think Cup was washed? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he could be back to his old ways with, his main man Stafford and just catching, 10, 12, 13 footballs a game, which gives you 13 points off rip for $1 and a touchdown. Like, and you're just like, wow, I got the value. So I think definitely the value is going Cooper Kupp. I mean, most people have him ranked under Puka by a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely where you want to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like Cooper more anyways. Like, as far as, like, fantasy value.
Yeah.
He already has like, not that Puka doesn't have the relationship with Stafford, but Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl together. You know?
And
it's like...
They just had, like, a certain connection at one point where it was like, it just didn't matter. Like
the Moss and Brady.
It was like you knew
Burrow
Kupp was getting the ball, and it was just on money, on time, on it. Like it was just do.
It was like that with Calvin Johnson too.
Right, but like with Coop.
Yeah, but Cooper Kupp is a different level.
Since he plays like inside a lot and he's like close and he's playing like a lot of these like underneath like not super deep routes and stuff, he can go deep, but like when he's playing these like little intermediate and stuff like that and he's playing really close to the quarterback, it's just easy to just feed him the ball super easily because he doesn't even have to let his route develop. He does some little zig route and then he's open. He does the little...
Yeah. They can literally do double crossers and just have that every day.
He does a little, 7-yard in, he's open. Like, it's just, he has crazy route running, crazy footwork, and it's just, the timing that they have is just boom, boom, boom. Like, it's never off. And when they were locked in, it was locked in different. I mean, you would look at halftime, and he would already have, like, 8 for 90 in a tud. Finish the game with, like, 15 catches. Like, he was getting 15 catches. Like, you're not just going to go from getting 15 catches to, like, okay, no, Puka's, like, scoot over. Like, it's not going to happen.
CD this year.
CD's definitely going to be, I mean, no one else is catching footballs over there, so like, you just know he's going to be the number one guy. How do you feel about Harrison, though?
I don't know. He sounds like he's bullshitting right now, but I still think he's nasty in general. I was really wishing we would have gotten him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he'll be a demon. Just because, like I said, I think Kyler Murray's gonna have one of those seasons.
But I think he is kind of like in the same situation as CeeDee Lamb, where it's like, who else is gonna command all the targets?
Yeah.
He has to get. He's in the situation where there is literally nobody else at the. Yes, you have McBride, but as far as like an actual wide receiver, there is literally no one else in this receiving room that should command targets in the game.
Yeah.
He's gonna go in, be the bona fide one. Kyle Murray's gonna have to throw if they want to like be competitive and be in games. They're gonna have to give this guy the ball. He could end up being like CeeDee Lamb, where it's like he's gonna have to get 10 catches a game for them to do anything, because he's the only one that can really do nothing. But he's elite, bro. I think that honestly, like, I wouldn't be mad at someone getting him, beginning of the second, end of the first, like depending on where you pick. If you're picking at 8 in a 10-man or, whatever, 10 and a 12, and you're going to get that pick, right after in the second, I could see somebody doing something like that.
Yeah,
where
just
it's like,
okay, so nobody else
let's
does.
get, if everyone's available, let's get, whoever, Monroe, whatever, and then swing on that, get Harrison. These are going to be my 2 receivers. I don't think he's bad as wide receiver 2. And these rookie wide receivers, they come in and shock the world, bro. Like, they usually have these rookie seasons that are like insane. Jefferson, Chase, they come in and they just command everything. It's just like,
and he has somebody good throwing it to him.
Right, he has somebody good throwing it to him, and there's no comp. It's like at least like Chase came in, and you have Higgins, you had all Boyd, and it's just like, well, I don't know. And he was still able to get
Tyler Eifert.
Right, he was still able to get that. I think Harrison is going to be one of those guys where, we look back after this fantasy season and he's sitting at a top 5 wide receiver, a guy in next year's drafted, like next year around this time, people are going to be like, bona fide first round, have to get him. He can't go past 12 in your picks. Like, and I would use a high draft pick on Marvin Harrison. He's somebody that I'm looking at in some of my leagues to pick, like knowing where I'm at. In some of my keepers where I know I already have a stud, I don't see a problem with there's like no world where he does bad unless he gets hurt, which you're not playing fantasy around injuries like that because he's healthy. Like maybe a guy with history, but he's been healthy. He's been healthy in college. Like, I don't see taking a swing on him in the second or first, even, like, depending on where you pick. I wouldn't use an early first on him. Like, anything top
5, no.
Top 6 and up, like, don't even look at it. But, like, if you're in the back end, I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it 100%.
I'm hoping Bijan falls to me in our league.
Yeah,
I'm right at 5.
Bijan's gonna be nasty. I worry about how they're gonna use Tyler Algier, but
no. He's fraud.
He definitely is. He's just kind of a bowling ball, but he kind of gets open and he kind of, I don't know, somehow he gets big runs. So
I think they're gonna try and have a good season this year because last year they didn't look like they were trying to have a good season. Well, I think this year they're gonna try and actually bell cow Bijan. Yeah, that's what they've been saying. They've been saying they're gonna try to use Bijan like the McCaffrey of the Falcons, which I can see. He's definitely a 3-down back potential, but I mean, Tyler Algier is not going anywhere. I just don't think that he's going to get as much. Like, before it was split, Bijan 15, 12 touches or whatever, Algier 12 touches, Yeah, it's like 2010 now. I don't think it's going to be that. Like, to me, it's going to be more of like an 80-20, where it's like, okay, Bijan's going to get 15 touches at least, and then, Algier might get, 6 or 7 here and there, but I'm not too worried about that, but I think Bijan's definitely going to be a good pick. Henry, I like Henry. He is older. I just don't know how that offense is going to work. You know how it's going to work. They're going to run 30 times because that's what they do. They run the ball and pass to Mark Andrews because the receivers are never good. Zay Flowers isn't him, in my opinion. What? I don't like Zay Flowers like that. I think he's good, like, to an extent. Like, I don't think that he's, like, a monster. Yeah. Like, he's definitely good, but I would rather have Zay as, like, my second receiver and have, like, I don't know. Like Devontae or something. Yeah. Like how it's, like, Jefferson and Addison. Yeah. Like, if he was in that, like, Addison role, I would like him more, but, like, trying to run him as your 1, I don't know if he's, like, really a 1. Yeah. I don't know. I think Derrick Henry will still be nice, but I don't know if they're going to feed him as much as we're thinking that he is. I think so. I think they got him for a reason. True. He's older, but, like, he's also a freak. He doesn't really get, like, crazy hurt. Yeah. I think that they try to get as much out of him as you can. You just got and they're hungry for that championship. You just got this dude. I mean, there's no point of, like, buying him, and then it's like buying a fast car and then being like, I think I'm just gonna take it slow. Like, it's just like, what's the point? You might as well just got like a Camry, like, so it's like you get Henry because okay, this guy can get 20
rushes in a game, like and be good and explode, especially in that kind of offense where you got to worry about Lamar. He could be one of them ones, man.
And they have two good tight ends that can block too.
You're definitely gonna have to get him in like the second or third, but I think that it could be worth it depending on how you draft. Like if you drafted like receivers early or whatever, maybe he falls to you like at the end of the second or something, or beginning of the third.
You're talking about you.
I would say that's a sniper. I would say like definitely. I would definitely think about getting him.
Yeah, it's a Chase Bijan, Derrick Henry.
I think Metcalf is definitely getting slept on in my opinion, because I think people just think that I don't know. Metcalf's dirty, bro. Like 1-on-1 deep balls. He's fast. Like he can do everything. He could take a slant to the crib.
I feel that way about Kenneth Walker too. Kenneth Walker is nice.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like he could be a top back. They just don't use him because they're so pass heavy.
Yeah, and they just always have been, even when they had like Chris Carson and stuff. But I think that Metcalf is somebody that you can get a little bit later and be straight. Maybe in the fourth round or something, and be like, you already have a top receiver. Maybe get him as your wide receiver too. And maybe if you do like a wide receiver heavy strategy like me, like get him as like a flex receiver that like, okay, this dude is a locked in flex that I don't have to worry about at all. Like
Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith above DK is crazy.
Yeah,
it's actually crazy.
Jalen Waddle, man, like it's very hard. It's
I
hard.
think they're so Mickey to me. I just don't like them. Like they're good at number 2 receiver.
They're good in like real life. Like real life, they play their role good, but like when it comes to fantasy, like you just know with Jalen Waddle, like probably majority of the games are gonna be 4 catches for 60 yards, no ton. And then he's gonna have like those couple games here and there where he has
like
a breakout catch because of the speed and stuff, and he's gonna have a 5 catch 111 touchdown game. But it's not gonna be every game because it's like Reek is the guy, bro. He's gonna get
not to mention A-Chain and Mostert.
Right, it's like Reek's gonna get all the burn. He's gonna get the the deep balls.
Yeah, he's gonna get 15 catches.
Like even though Reek is double covered, he's gonna get the football the most, and he's gonna have the most yards. Everyone thinks Waddle. It's like he's fast and he's good, but Reek, when you look at the
Reek's different, bro.
When you look at the box score, it's gonna be Reek 13 catches, 1,000,000 yards, and Waddle's gonna have 60 yards. I'm telling you this now, and he's just never somebody that I'm excited about drafting because he's too boomer bust in that offense.
Yeah.
And to be riding on like I need to win my week with Jalen Waddle left, it's not gonna work, bro, unless you just get lucky. Smith is a little bit better. I think he gets a little bit more catches. He gets a little bit more volume if you're playing a PPR.
But I mean, they have Saquon now too.
They do have Saquon now, so you gotta kind of see how it looks. And AJ Brown definitely commands a lot of targets. But I think that there was a little part in the season. It was like in the second quarter of the season where Smith was getting more work than Brown at one point. So I think that. It just kind of you got to catch it while it's hot with Devontae Smith. Like there's gonna be like 5 weeks where Devontae Smith is crazy, and that's when you got to use him there. And then maybe trade him like right before he like burns out. Like trade him. And
I just hate getting those players.
Yeah, it's definitely not somebody I look for to draft. But he's somebody like if you end up doing
if he falls to me at like 6,
right,
I'll take him.
Right, if he falls and he's in like a right spot, and I'm like, okay, then I'll grab you.
But there are always those players that there's always one person that reaches.
Someone's gonna reach.
They're gonna like my brother. He would reach for Waddle all day.
Right, and like I said, he's just one of those players, like kind of like Kelsey, where it's just I'm just never gonna be in a position to really draft you. Yeah. Nor is he somebody that I'm necessarily really looking for either. Right. Like even if he's like, I feel like every time I'm in the position where it's like Waddle, there's always like some other guy where I'm like I'd rather have this other guy just because I know his consistency and stuff like that would be like just a little bit better.
I feel that way about Olave too. Olave, I know.
And it's not his fault.
He is good, yeah.
It's
not really not his fault.
But he just hasn't had it set up, man. Like, what was he? He had like Jabba Winston, like his first year, and then Derek Carr's coming in here and stinking up the joint, like you know what I'm saying. And then this year we don't know. It might be half Derek Carr until Spencer Rattler comes in there, and then who knows when he's gonna start slinging up. So it's not his fault. He just doesn't have anybody to give him the ball consistently. Like he gets, and then the balls that they give him,
their play calling in general is just so butt.
the play calling is bad.
So butt.
And I feel like they run the nasty routes for like Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, they
like,
really do.
Somehow
he is nasty.
He's good and he has nasty speed. But when you look at his routes, you're like, bro, that route was like, why isn't Olave getting that design? Like Olave's getting like all this bullshit, and you're like, you see Shaheed,
he's doing some like dig return.
Right, he's doing some like cut in, stop, hezzy. I'm gonna go up now, like wide open, like back corner. I'm like, bro, how is he getting like this type of burn?
Even Jawan Johnson gets better routes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, why are we not giving Olave any kind of route tree? Like they're treating him like Nico Collins in the beginning, where it's like they just want to give him these one-on-one fuck it balls, and that's why he's getting hurt. They keep throwing these like F it balls, and he's having to like go up and get it. He's taking, crazy hits and stuff like that. I mean, bro, they're definitely not using him right at all. But he gets volume, but I mean, it's not the best volume, uncatchable.
Saints just gotta fail on purpose and draft quarterback next year. Get Dart.
Low key, hey, Jackson Dart he might be somebody they might have to look at. I mean, I don't know, because I mean, Carr, I think this is definitely his last year in New Orleans. Yeah. I think if New Orleans gets another year, murder's going up.
Yeah, he's going to Bronco.
I think homicide rate goes up if Carr has another.
Yeah, we might have to move.
Yeah, like it might get dangerous, like where it's like for real, like I don't know. There's no way, like this dude isn't good anymore. Well, he hasn't ever really been amazing, but he's definitely not good at this point in his career.
I used to like Carr, like the pro days on the Raiders. Like
I think he was good like before that, like in his early first 4 or 5 years. I think he was actually nice. I think they were running like a good scheme and stuff. But I think now, I don't know. I think he just tries to do too much. I think he thinks that he's like Brady, but he's
just not reading the play right.
He's not reading the play right, and he just forces it. Yeah. And he plays better late in the game when you're already down 21-0. Yeah. Then he wants to start oh shit, it's right. And it's just dude, you're already skunked. I don't know. I can't.
He gets those EA plays.
Yeah, where they just give him a touchdown. Yeah, it's just I'm not excited.
Alvin Kamara though, he should be nice.
He should be nice, and he low key might be somebody that depending on your league, he might low key kind of slip a little bit. He's not gonna slip nowhere crazy, but you might be able to get him I don't know,
late third, early fourth.
Yeah, it's just
I might do that.
Bro, he has good value, bro.
I love Kamara, bro.
Carr dumps. Remember that one game last year where Kamara had 15 catches? What?
I remember.
50,
that one a week.
Dude. If he's getting that kind of work, it's gonna be absolutely insane. Yeah. Derek Carr can't really throw deep. And he likes to check it down. Kamara's going to be right there.
And Kamara's nasty, bro. He's so nasty.
He could literally have 8+ catches a game easily, and then he's nasty on the ground. I think that he could be somebody that could. But someone that I just thought of that I think will slip, that could have that similar kind of role, and it just came to me. But I think Javonte Williams from the Broncos.
Yeah, bro, he's nice.
I think Javonte Williams from the Broncos is somebody that can slip super duper far a little bit because it's Broncos are trash, right, and fair. But last year he was coming off the ACL. Obviously, he was a half step slower, whatever. All this stuff, and he still did decent. But I think this year, he slimmed down. He's ready to play. He's had a full off season.
Is he
he's
year 3 or 4?
Might be year 4. I think it might be year 3. Year 3, I think. But he's running. He's gonna be in that Sean Payton offense, and that Sean Payton offense is what got Kamara Kamara catching all these passes and stuff like that. Sean Payton wants to utilize the running back in the passing game. He wants to get them going. He's somebody that you could get later on that people are just forgetting about because he's not a super sexy name right now. You could get, how White was last year, 6th, 7th round, and then people are like turning around like, yo, this dude's RB8. Like, he could end up being gross because, like, what else are they going to do over there in Denver? Like, you know, they're going to be throwing the Cortland Sutton. Bo Nix looks like he actually got a little bit of juice. Yeah. So, hey, this team might not actually be the worst.
Jerry Jeudy revival?
They're not going to be the best, but they're definitely not going to be they might not be the worst. I think, like, the Giants are worse than, like, what the Broncos might put out.
Yeah, Giants and Panthers might have a battle to see who's the most ass of all time.
What do you think that this is Deshaun Watson's? Do you think that if Deshaun Watson doesn't do good this year, that they get a new Q? What do you think?
Who's their backup? Is it Tyrod?
No,
is
Winston.
it still?
It's Winston.
Winston, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, he didn't do anything last year, bro.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt and screwed them even more. Yeah. So it's like, well, he didn't end up screwing him, I guess. I guess he kind of helped them in the long run. But, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like, I mean, you know this. I just don't like Watson at all, bro. I haven't liked him ever. I don't think he's that good. I think he's a product of Dabo Sweeney and Bill O'Brien. I don't think he is ever actually, like, solid. Yeah. But I don't know who else would take him if he leaves.
No, but that's the thing, and this could be like really the last thing we talk about, just because like I kind of want to go deep into this. But like Deshaun, I think that there's just a lot. Like, I don't think that they're gonna continue if he has another bad year after this year. It's gonna be really hard to. It's gonna be hard either way because they still have a lot of money tied to him and stuff like that. But the thing is, the roster is like super good, and obviously they proved that last year when down the stretch he wasn't playing.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco was
Joe Flacco and all these other guys are coming in and able to run the offense just fine with no Nick Chubb. Yeah. And then it's like Deshaun Watson's playing, and it's like they might win the game, but they weren't in the game like ugly, like 13-3 or something. You're like, bro, what's going on with this offense? And they're giving them weapons. The defense is good. I just don't know. You know, he had a lot of time where he wasn't playing football. And even lately, you know, he's been back, but he was injured last year, you know, so he didn't finish out the year last year. No. You know, the year before that, he was suspended for like the first half of the year, you know, and then came in. It's like within the past, like...
He hasn't played a full season.
It's like since probably like 2020 was like his last season. Like since then... Since like 2021 till now, he's maybe played like a grand total of like maybe a year of football. Yeah. And you know, I just don't think that it's gonna be like people keep saying like, oh, you know, at some point he has to go back to how he was in Houston. He might not be who he was when he was in Houston anymore, and he really ain't in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, he's not getting massages no more. I
mean, a lot of that stuff has something to do with it because it's just like. I think one dude was saying like before it seemed like kind of like Watson had this like almost like this like energy or persona where he was kind of like you know he's a good guy, like, you know what I'm saying, people liked him, you know, he was like joyful and kind of like, you know, laughing and, you know, he was dancing, He was cool, like swag, whatever, and he kind of had this like, you know, like superhero-esque kind of like, you know, vibe to him, where it's like now he's kind of got like this super villain vibe to him. And like even in press conferences and stuff like that, there's like a different where like before he'd be like up there like, you know, get like, you know what I'm saying, I'm just like where now he kind of has this like grim reaper kind of where he's just like, you know, all
just quiet,
or like when they ask him stuff, he always has to turn it into this like, you know, the people versus the man kind of thing. Well, you know, I know people might have a lot to say, but you know, then, you know, I'm just here to do, like, you know, it's just very, like, you could tell, like, even though we are past all that stuff, that stuff is still, like you still,
it's heavy on them.
you still have fans that are like, bro, this dude is, like, it's weird. Like, even some Browns fans, when they're like, it's, like, you know, hard enough kind of being a Browns fan, like, especially, like, you know, throughout the history. But not only that, it's, like, now I kind of gotta like
crazy story.
Erase my mind from like whatever I think probably could happen and kind of root for this guy, even though he's kind of creepy. Like, you know, it's like this whole like weird thing now. There's like a weird dynamic in there. So now he's not playing for just like, oh, I'm Deshaun, I'm cool, and like, you know, I'm a cool quarterback that like has like cool outfits and stuff. It's like now you're kind of this weird dude. Like half the NFL kind of thinks you're weird.
Yeah.
Like pretty much everyone thinks you're kind of off now with all that stuff going on, and you haven't played meaningful ball in a long time.
Yeah,
when
like
you
4
are
years.
on the field, it doesn't look any good. It doesn't look any good.
And
so,
you have you have Amari Cooper, bro.
You have Amari Cooper.
Really all you need.
You have Njoku, who like
Bro,
we're thinking in the beginning of the season Njoku's trash. Then all of a sudden he's like Antonio Gates or something like that at the end of the year. He has
the chain sling.
You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the year, you remember what he was doing? He was having like 8 catches, like 2 touchdowns, like bro.
Yeah, he's having like Kelsey numbers.
Right,
sure.
like Njoku was like nice, bro. Like you have Njoku, Cooper. They traded for Jerry Jeudy now.
Yeah.
They have Elijah Moore still. It's like you have all these. You have Nick Chubb, or you know what I'm saying? Well,
technically Ford's nice too, though.
Technically, Ford's
really nice.
The offensive line is decent. So it's like you have all
really
this. The defense keeps you in games with like their secondary, Denzel Ward, all this stuff. It's like so. And then not only that, it's just like being in a job or something like that, or being anywhere where it's like you're the guy, and then you know you start messing around, you start kind of not showing up, whatever, and then this other dude comes in and they're like, oh, so we actually don't need Chase as much as we thought we did. Like, you know what I'm saying? This guy can come in and do it. So then when you do come back, now they're kind of like, now they're nitpicky.
That never happened to me.
Right. But it's like, it's hard, bro. Like, I just don't know. I definitely don't think he's ever going to go back to what he was on the Texans. And when he's on the field, it just looks bad. He's throwing bad interceptions. He's off target.
He's just not quick. Like, it's not snappy.
It's not snappy. And I don't think he's a real thrower of the football, like how I was talking about, like
he's not a pure dot specialist,
like Stroud's, like Rodgers, like the Brady's, the Mahomes, like you know these guys are like Stafford. These guys are throwers of the football. They know where they want the ball to be. Throw a dot. They have timing. They have touch. I know if I have to get it over the linebacker. I know if I have to put more air. I know if I have to do it like this. They know that kind of stuff when it comes to how they throw the football. Where when you watch Watson, even back in the Texans, there was times where he didn't look the best, and where you know he would take unnecessary sacks, like his timing in the pocket, like his internal clock on like how he plays and moves isn't all the way there.
Pocket perception,
right?
Too.
Like it's like sometimes you know we're watching the Texas fans where we're like you know they wanted to blame the offensive line, but there was sometimes where it's like no, the offensive line blocked, and you can see the reads are right here. But he's patting the ball. Then he decides to scramble too late. Like Caleb is he's moving in the pocket as it's going on. Yeah. Stroud doesn't need to move in the pocket because he can read the field like a Bible and just find whoever's open and throw the dot. Whereas Watson doesn't know what coverage it is half the time, and then he waits until the defensive end has his hand on his jersey to try to like, okay, now I'm gonna try to like stiff arm and slide. Like it's not working. So like, and, you know, I was watching some of the stuff last year, and it's just like bad interceptions, bad timing, bad reads where receivers are literally making their cut and wide open, and you can he has his foot in the ground and he's not hitting it. And I think he got one more year to show the Browns that not even you can be 2020 or 2019 Watson, that you can just be competent enough to drive this ship.
That you can give us 10 wins.
That you can stay healthy, give us win, but not only win, like win and look good.
Yeah.
Like it. I don't want to see no 13-10. We won the game. Yeah. So that sucks. Like I want to see you throw yards.
Yeah.
You know, do
300 yards, 3 tutties.
It was always a joke when Watson was on the Texans. Like he would never eclipse like 300 yards passing. Yeah. Like Stroud throwing for 500 that one game against Atlanta. Like Watson would never throw for that many yards. And it was just always one of those things where like, why is he never able? And then I think this time off that he's had, where like that 1 year, 2021, when he was under the allegations, he wasn't doing any football stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he really wasn't doing any football stuff the year after that. He didn't have that training camp. Then he was suspended, blah, blah, blah. All this time off, I think is really kind of emphasize his flaws now.
Yeah.
Where now he doesn't have, he's kind of lost a lot of that natural touch from just, he was playing continuously all the way up until then, other than that year he got hurt. But he hasn't really been on the field. Now he has this like dark cloud, all this kind of stuff, and it just seems like now on the field, the stuff that wasn't good about Watson or his little issues on the like as far as like his reads and stuff like that are just really emphasized now, especially after getting that crazy 200 guaranteed contract. They're expecting you to go out there and throw for 300 yards. It actually doesn't matter, Like,
it's like Russell Wilson and Denver.
It's like they give you that kind of contract, they trade it for you. I think this is the last, like this year finally stopped the Browns giving Texans first round picks. They have been giving us first round picks for like 4 years. It's been like that bad. Like, so it's like they've given up all this stuff for you to go out there and be you're not a rookie. You're not, Bryce Young or or one of these dudes where it's like, okay, you're a rookie. We missed the like, no, bro, we are giving up millions of dollars, all these draft
Hundreds
picks.
of millions of dollars.
All the draft picks that turned into Anderson, Dell, like, you just gave the Texans a dynasty, basically. We just got a dynasty from trading Watson, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just insane to me, and I just don't, I think that this could be last year of Watson if he doesn't play well. And then after that, I don't see another spot where he really gets picked up to be the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think that this year actually might be the last year of him being the guy.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone else that's willing to, after all the allegations, after all this stuff, him not playing well, because obviously
There'll be a team that picks him up.
if
I just don't know about starting though.
there will be, but I think it'll be like another like kind of fieldsy where it's like, oh, we'll pick him up, but like we already kind of got somebody, like maybe we'll do a little QB competition. You might get it, you might not.
Yeah.
We're not really that concerned about you.
The Saints.
The Saints actually could be a possibility. That actually could be a possibility because Derek Carr is going to be terrible this year. We already know that. So Derek Carr is going to be terrible. Saints are going to need a quarterback. Spencer Rattler might not be all the way there. I mean, when they pick him up in like the last round or something like that, fifth round, like he's not like they're not really that invested in him. They could be one of those teams that, like, if the Browns get rid of him, the Saints like using up all their money. They're still paying old man Michael Thomas probably like $50 million.
No, he's finally off the team.
He's off the team. I think they still owe him money.
Oh, no way.
I think they still owe him money.
He's like, I left the duffel bag full of millions back there.
They're paying like Cam Jordan, who's like 40, like probably like the rest of the money in the bank. I can see them being like in a desperation move, like we have some young pieces, we still have Kamara that wants to play, maybe they give Kamara a contract and being like, can it really get any worse? I mean, let's just bring this dude down to NOLA.
Sign Watson for like a 1 year.
Right, sign him for like a 1 or 2 year. Cleveland takes the rest of the dead cap. We get him up for a couple years. Let's just see if he got something left.
Yeah.
Let's see if he got something left. Just a little Hail.
And they have the pieces too.
Right, just a little Hail Mary Eve, and then just see what he has in store.
And then absolutely tank.
Yeah, then after that doesn't work, then just that's when the city goes underwater. But no, I think that was a good that was some good yap. We'll be back with more topics, more stuff. Just talking about sports, talking about what's going on. As the season goes on, we'll be talking about just whatever's going on in the week. Updates, injuries, fantasy, betting, a whole lot of stuff. But
and other sports too.
Other sports, not just football. Talking about baseball. Baseball's getting into the playoffs once NBA starts. Just everything. We're really gonna be talking about every single thing. Just sitting here, giving our opinion, and talking about some soccer in there. Talking about just anything that's going on. We're gonna be giving our opinions, giving our because we're unpaid semi-professionals. So
Fantasy gurus.